Good morning. This is Daily Spark, day 83. The question is, what reactions soften when I stop defending coherence? What reactions soften when I stop defending coherence? Meaning, where do I stop being reactionary when I stop defending coherence? Meaning, like like trying to justify my need for meaning making in a way, or things having to connect within me right away. That's kind of what it almost, this maybe could be where my head is going is like, can I sit with a knowing and sit with confusion? Can I hold complexity longer and longer without something rising up in me to take a point of view, to have a specific viewpoint, when all this it doesn't have to be confusion, it could just be complexity, like holding many things at once that all appear valid and true in some way. And then, so that's partly where my head wants to go. I don't want to sit here. I don't know why. I just feel like moving. I think the cars are distracting me outside. Let's stay here. So that to me is so I'll try to get specific because I feel like I could riff on this one for a while. But what reactions soften? I feel like the reaction that softens, if I have to stop pinning things down, meaning, that's what I mean by coherence can mean a lot of things. But when I think about coherence internally, it's like things that have been fragmented are now like reaching out toward each other to shake hands and say, oh, hi, nice to meet you. Let's become part of a whole, even though we may be two sides of a coin. We may contradict each other. We could be the same, we could be different, So it's like things like, I just love that. I don't know why that visual came to me, like these parts of ourselves internally that have been fragmented, and we keep them separate so that we can feel regulated and maybe more comfortable having things fragmented. Because meaning like, maybe I tend toward black and white thinking and yes to this, no to that, you know what I mean? Versus like a lot of things are like yes and yes and yes. Like it's the yes and is coherence, and the no but is like fragmentation. Whew. Does that land with you in some way, that there's simplification of what I mean by coherence? Like everything to me feels better with a yes and versus a no but. No but. Or even the word but in general is just like kind of a problematic word. And I've tried since 2008. Was it 2008? To eliminate that from my vocabulary. It's been a long road. Every time I hear it come out of my mouth, it just feels wrong. 2008, because there was somewhere I worked and this topic came up, and about the word but and how it negates everything that came before it. And I was like, holy shit, I'm constantly negating everything I say. So saying like, only pay attention from this word on, and it just feels like so black and white thinking, or like, trying to justify everything I say. Whereas like yes and means so many things can coexist. So now where I would normally put a but, I just put an and 99% of the time it totally makes logical sense anyway. Like you can't, yeah, that fits. Try it out if you haven't yet. I love it. So where were we? So that my reaction that softens when I stop like if I can let things stay fragmented within me, meaning not coherent yet, that means I'm holding a lot of fragments that aren't coalescing yet into a unified whole of meaning making and like a landing place of like, that feels good now that I've made sense of all this confusion and complexity and like friction energy inside of me when something new comes in and I'm like, how do I hold that information? How do I feel about it? What do I think? And it's like when we don't do that, like that urge to like that craving for coherence, like make it make meaning so I stop feeling activated, triggered by it. And it's like, okay, well, I'm just going to sit with the discomfort that, a new truth came in, a new piece of information. I'm like, oh, that contradicts everything else that's going on for me now. What do I do? And so that's the reaction that softens, is the urge to make sense of it and have it lock in or reject out, of the whole, so that I can still retain the coherence I do have, by rejecting something. Or do I want to weave it in and therefore I have to defend, that, okay, now new information came in and I'm weaving it into how I really feel about something, like making tiny course correction justifications for my prior point of view, now incorporating this new piece of information into a newly evolved point of view. And it's like all that justification that happens of like, to me, where, oh God, I have an example where this shows up. Holy crap. But anyway, what softens, just to be clear, put a pin in this, put a bow on it rather, is the reaction would be to stop trying to defend and make sense of something and like try to feel good again. It's like, no, just sit in the discomfort. So where I find that I'm constantly, whenever this is in my experience, and I'm constantly having to sit in the discomfort without like that friction that's like, there's no right answer for me and that doesn't feel good. It's like eating animals. Oh man, I love animals so much, and like conceptually I'm like, no, I don't want to eat them. No, none of the animals, none. I don't want to be the reason another living thing is no longer living, Oh, but man, do I love fish and the occasional steak. And I love making hard-boiled eggs, even though I don't have to harm an animal, but in some ways they're not just say plopping out an egg and saying, here, have this. I'm a free range chicken and I get to decide who gets to eat my eggs. It's like, no, it's some level I'm taking, from another living thing. And there's something that I just, and I've been vegetarian for years before. I've been vegan for years before. I've eaten those lifestyles and I felt amazing. I mean, I really loved it. And then I moved back to the Midwest and I'm like, oh, meat. And we're going fishing and we're having fish fries. And then it just sort of spiraled out of control where I don't, like, on the daily basis, I don't know the last time I ate meat. I don't even think about it, because when I cook or make things for myself, I don't put meat in things. And then we'll go out to dinner once in a while and I'll have, that's when the last time I had this amazing cheeseburger. I honestly wasn't thinking about the animals then though. See, even this, like, I get to choose when I feel bad about stuff or when I sit in the discomfort because there's discomfort or when there's not discomfort because it's like out of sight, out of mind. Like even that, to sit with all of that happening is like, you're such a hypocrite, you know? And I sit with being a hypocrite. I think that's the discomfort I sit in, like, because there's no coherence to be regained when those things come into my awareness, like, oh, you are eating animals again. And if the only way you could eat animals was if you had to kill it with your own hands, you wouldn't be eating them. That I know 110% for sure, 1,000% for sure. And if it was the end of the world, I've already gone here, like end of the world, and it's my life or that chicken or that fish, I will perish. I don't know why. Like so many people, especially where I live, would be like, girl, you're nuts. Like, come on, give me a break. And I'm like, I don't know what it is. See, even I want to cry. It's why I save every little bug too, that I take them outside. Even like I got a roly-poly in here a few weeks back when the weather warmed up. And I was like, take it out to the grass and made sure it was like unrolling before I walked away. Did it, is it dead? Did I hurt it by like scooping it? And so I haven't always been that way, but in the last several years, it's getting harder and harder I can't do harm to living things. I don't know why. And I'm a hypocrite because I'll eat things I did not kill. And so anyway, thanks for going on that long story with me. But that's where my brain went, because that's the biggest discomfort, the biggest conflict and fragmentation within me that I can't make coherent unless I stop eating animals. But then, with the whole veganism thing, I'm like, okay, what am I wearing that comes from the harming or the testing on of animals? And then that was the other thing I wanted to mention. I saw a podcast about how this Harvard research scientist and his students and teams and all that, he's been doing this work for over 30 years of reversing aging, like figuring out why aging happens, and then developing technology, medicine, whatever, to reverse the aging process or stop it. To stop the aging process, even if you don't reverse it, but they're reversing things on mice and primates, and they're going into human trials, and it's coming, and the first thing they are going to do human trials on, because it's the easiest thing to do, it's self-contained, a whole bunch of reasons, safer than other things, they probably get FDA approval first for this, is the eyeball. So of course I sent my husband that, he's an optometrist, and I'm like, dude, they're curing blindness. They've already done it reliably in mice and primates. Literally a completely blind, like not even anything, reversed it. So, what did it take to develop that ability, to develop that science? A whole lot of testing on mice and primates. They showed, first of all, so I'm having internal conflict the whole podcast. I'm like, oh, but that's awesome for blind people. And then what's to come? They're going to be able to cure all kinds of cancers. They're going to be able to, the fast forward however many years, maybe it might be in my lifetime when I'm like 100, and then I'll get to take a pill and be like, I'm going to stay 100 forever. Who knows what's going to really happen. But the end goal is like that's kind of just what I said, is like they want it to be in sort of a pill form. It could be many forms, but it's going to be something that you can take, and it will stop your aging, which means you stop developing all the diseases that come about because of aging. and because of broken down DNA and cells, and then you basically, they're talking about how, yeah, you could choose at some point, some generation will be able to just say, yeah, I'm just going to take this pill and I'll just stop getting older. Which is very problematic in a lot of ways. I mean, my head, oh my God, I got to stop. This should be a whole different video. But anyway, let me just pause because I will go off the deep end on this. I have so many thoughts and curiosities. Coming back to the mice, this is where it's relevant to this, is like my coherence is not, I lost, like I couldn't make this coherent within me. When they showed a picture of 2 mice, and they were twin mice. One was healthy, one wasn't. One was young still, one was aged, because they needed the same. That's why they chose twin mice, is to test the aging versus not aging, just to have, apples to apples, I guess. So they were what do? They were speeding up disease within one of the mice so that they could then test, obviously, like, reversing it. So they had to force this one of the twin mice to age faster, and it looked like a little grandpa mouse with like one eye, and it was all gray. It was heartbreaking that, and it's been this way forever, like, and it's been even worse forever, like before we even say you can't do certain things in the lab, but they're still doing a whole hell of a lot that I don't even know about. And that has all kinds of feelings in here about, like, to benefit humanity, we have to torture, we have to do super awful things. I almost said inhumane, but like, what does even humane, inhumane mean anymore? Like, I don't even know what that word means anymore, because who wants to be like, like inhumane is now the, like, humane versus inhumane. Oh my God, I could do a whole rant on that. Like, to be humane, oh God, no, I don't want to be humane. What do we do with the world? Ugh, versus like inhumane. Yeah, I'd rather be inhumane, because it might actually be better than what humans are doing right now. You know what I mean? Oh my God. So it was heartbreaking to see this photo they flashed on the screen of what the aged mouse looked like, because the scientists did that to the mouse against its will. It's kept hostage in a cage. And then I'm like, oh God, thank God I did not go into science, like research science in a lab. I wouldn't have survived. I would have been like, day one when they you know what? Thinking back to like high school biology, it was hard to cut open a dead worm. I should have known then this is where it would lead. So anyway, oh, and that's another thing. When I'm digging in the garden, I almost can't garden anymore, because I'm like, oh God, I'm going to stab a worm in half. I just know it with my little trowel. So anyway, that's where I still can't take in what I do to animals and have it, like, by eating them, and have it be coherent with how my beliefs about doing no harm to animals. I am conflicted, and I'm a hypocrite. I'm conflicted because I'm a hypocrite. And I know I have leather shoes somewhere in my closet. I know it. Where does this take you? It took me to those places, but it could, I'm sure there are other things that, that challenge coherence happening in the body, because it's not like a one and done with coherence. It's like, that's what I mean by coherence. It's like anything, and a new piece of information comes in, a new feeling, new thought, new idea, new perspective, whatever, and it challenges the way I feel inside about things. Like, oh, my insides are rearranging to make room for this new thing, and it's hard. And then with this animal thing, that's why I went there, is like, nope, there's no coherence. I'm just got to sit in the discomfort and remain fragmented. I gotta go. I gotta. I wish I had some cats to cuddle right now. I need an animal. But anyway, bye.